Saying you can now access the light and things of that nature. Okay. I'll have to change that title in one way, shape, or another. I have to change it. Yeah, so they are joining. We are notifying your viewers that you are live. Uh, so shout out to everyone and welcome to Moon Day. Today is ruled by the moon, so it's the day for reflections. It's the day for whereby you are ruled more by your emotions and feelings. So it's the day that you are bent, or you're not even supposed to be working on a Monday. So you're supposed to start your day on a Tuesday, which is Mass Day. So that is why you talk of Monday blues and things like those ones. No. So Monday is a day to just the feelings that you had yesterday on a Sunday. After externalizing them, you're supposed to feel them today. So today we'll be talking about suppression and how suppression can go against you. So you're supposed to express yourself. So in our community or in our day-to-day lives today, you are always told to speak or forever hold your peace. So you are told to, if you don't say anything at the start of that thing, for example, let's say you're in a relationship. So the things that you did not convey in your relationship when it was starting, so they try to show you like, okay, we met, we had a relationship together, we have this thing going on together. Now, don't come later in life and start telling me, oh, you see, I had children. I should have told you that I had a child when I was growing up. So we need to tell someone, no, or I'm not comfortable. Okay? And so these are some of the fears that we are not talking about when it comes to relating. Now we are starting from the relationships from our home before you go outside. So before we meet you, before you externalize, before we get to learn about you or meet you in different scopes of life, we have to understand that your relationship starts with you from home, how you are brought up na vitu kama hizo. So it's okay to say no. Now, so before I continue, I have to give you a disclaimer. I am not a relationship expert, okay? However, I have enough wisdom and knowledge to speak on matters. I don't need a PhD to speak about these things. Now, I've been looking at, and this is a compilation of the things that I deal with, aka when people come to me, or when I'm dealing with like couples who are going through shit, or when I meet someone and we are going through a consultation, whatever the consultation may be, maybe it's a business and everything, I've come to realize that even when it comes to money, a lot of your money issues, or you getting stuck in your relationships, be they businesses na vitu kama hizo, they are all stemming from how you grew up. They are all stemming from how you started up. So this is going to be a couples kind of, and couples doesn't have to mean someone you are living with, because when I say couples, people are, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is for people who are married, or this is for people who are in this type of relationship. No, when I talk of couples, I'm talking of anyone that you are having a relationship with. Anyone. This can be people of the opposite sex or whatever. Now, but it is going to be more based on couples when it comes to relationships of people who are living together. Okay, people who are living in the same house. People who are, for lack of a better word, in a relationship. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people seem to do in relationships, and when I speak about these things, you have to know that I am an example. So I like giving myself as an example. Okay, we learn from going through life together. Now, when you let people, aka when you let your family into your issues, because remember in my page we don't do pondering. So in my page, we understand that even your family could not be your real family. So in this page, we understand that your mother could be your biggest obstacle in whatever you are doing. In this page, you understand that your mother, your sister, your father, your brother could be your biggest obstacle in life. For example, I just got some information. I don't know if they are going to be watching this, whereby someone is going to. Anyway, I think I should talk about that relationship with Munjiro. Let's do a couples relationship conversation where I'll bring that. So in the next live where you see me with Monjiro, my spouse, if you're watching this live, please remind me about, just remind me to give you a story about a school and a fence. Then she's going to talk about it. Let it come from Monjiro. I think she's better at that. So, when you let your family into your issues, keyword, I think now this is the time now you have to go and get your pens and papers, because when you come to my lectures, you know I have to go deep, okay? So, when you let your family into your issues, so you have these tendencies whereby when we have relationship with our spouses, we open up for unsolicited advice from people outside of us. So let's say you are fighting with your wife. Let's say you are fighting with your husband. Let's say you are fighting with your girlfriend or boyfriend. So you go to seek advice, okay, from your parents, from your siblings. So you're having issues with your hubby or boyfriend or girlfriend, but you go to seek advice from your family, from your sister and your brother and your mother and your father. So those are the first people we go to, the family, the people who are closest to you. Okay? So you go to them, but the reason you are going to them purely with truth, and you are emotionally connected to them, thinking, oh, this is my family, so they are going to solve this for me. But remember, you should be careful of whatever you are going to share with these people, because one thing that you are forgetting is that your parents are very mature. Shout out to Anja. Thank you. So your parents are very mature. Okay? So your parents raised you based on what they were externalizing. So based on their emotional state. Okay? Whatever they were externalizing is how they brought you up into the world. So whatever the situation, that the circumstances, is how they raised you. Now, you become mature in a different setup. So how you meet your spouse, the life you are living and everything is very different from your father and mother. For example, let's say you go to your father and you're talking to your father and you're like, let's say kuya karoni agorera mutumia wako wa gari. So your father is from an era whereby you are women, they are women. Our mothers never rode in our father's car. I like giving examples with my own parents. My father bought his first car in 1991. Yeah, I think he bought his first car in 1991. However, that car, no, two cars, one bought in 1991 and the other one was bought in 1995. Both of those two cars, my brother ameziuza juzi kama scrap. My mother never rode in any one of them. My mama hakuwa ametoka amebebwa na hizo gari. I'm talking about the first two cars. Now, if you go to my father's compound right now, akona gari ngapi kwa compound? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 operational, 2 running, 2 not running. The 2 that are not running, remember zile mbili nimekuambia hizo ziliuzwa hata my mama hakuwahi bebwa nazo. The 2 that are not running, one, my own mom hakuwahi ingia ama kubebwa. The other one, my dad crashed. They crashed with my mom and then I crashed. My mom was in that car for 4 times. And hizo gari nne, they are gone. The 2 remaining functioning car, though now my mom and my dad have not been together for 10 years, there's one car that my dad was claiming is my mom's. She never got a driving license na vitu kama hizo. So, though my father will say, gari ni ya mamako, ajai mulipia driving school. But she's going to say, this car belongs to your mom. But my mom doesn't have a driving license. So how can that car be her car if she has not driven it? So you look at them and you're like, okay, so this is letting me know that my father is coming from an era whereby they never allowed women to be seen or to be heard. So the women were only to be seen. I come home, niwekee maji ya kuoga. You know, our fathers grew up in an era of kuwekewa maji kwa karai. It's just now that we are changing that. Very few people who your parents, no, I'm not talking about the Gen Zs, I'm talking about the millennials who are watching now. 90% of the millennials who are watching me, mume grow up mkiona babako akipelekewa maji na karai kwa bafu. So your mama alikuwa anachukua karai na maji anampelekea. Babako anaenda na towel akiswing with his dick swinging and just walk to the shower. Hata kuna wenye walikuwa wanaenda wanaoga, anaacha karai na sabuni huko. Akioga anaacha karai na sabuni kwa bafu, then he walks with his towel back to the house. Wenye walikuwa na bafu za nje ama wenye wamegrow kwa ploti. You get it? So now, what am I saying? So when you come to today's lifestyle, now imagine you are going to your father when you grow in that time, unaenda kumwambia unataka kununulia bibi yako gari. Wewe unafikiria atakusupport? There's no way your father is going to support you buying your wife a car in this age and era. No, the first thing would be a blockage. Sasa ona ukimuguragira ngari ri ndukiambe ugure mugunda ndukiambe wake, because they cannot understand how you can buy your wife a car and you have not built a home. Mind you, these are people who are sitting on ancestral lands, their lands and our grandfathers' lands. Now they don't even care of your state of being or your siblings. But the moment umeenda kumwambia umenunua gari, or when you come with your car to your home, the first thing they do is belittle you. So you buy a car, umenunua Honda Fit Aria, which is a very good car. Congratulations on anyone. Whatever you can afford is a very good thing. A car is just a means of transport from point A to point B. The luxuries zitakuja. If you get a V8, if you get an S-Class, those luxuries are... But first you have to get into that club of having a car. Now, you go to your mom with your car. Hey mom, ndiragurire gari. Mamako anashuka na haiya. Ama you go to your mom, the first thing they ask you, ndiragurire gakari. You are thinking, but this car is worth 800, 900,000 shillings. How dare you, my mom, call my car a gakari? And your mom, remember, has never been in a car all her life. Ajai bebo na gari na babake, hata ajui gari natokanga pesa. But instead of saying, I'm so happy for you, anakwambia ganirago gakari. Or you go home with a car. Then the first thing your mom asks you, gari no ni yao. Nidaukanire horo wa ukuhoyaga gari ciene. Gari no egyo no ndugira mwene ate. So you are thinking, but mom, you didn't even understand whether the car is mine. Like, why are you jumping into conclusions? And I've been working that I can't afford my own car. I'm giving you examples. So now imagine now you're going to your mother and father, those type of people, for advice on your relationship. First of all, kumbuka mamako na babako, especially your toxic moms. These are the moms when ukipeleka watoto geshagi, the moment you leave, when you're out of earshot, anaanza kuuliza watoto, mumeletea shosho nini? Watoto, because they are innocent, they're like, shosho, tumekuletea unga, ya ngano, tukakuletea sukari, shosho. The shosho is like, umeniletea sausage. The child is like, apana, tumekuletea unga. So, you know, shosho, you need a fridge for sausage. So the shosho now being toxic, anaanza kuambia mtoto, si basi waambie babako aniletee fridge. Nilikuwa huko kwenye nikaona mko na fridge kubwa. The child is like, na kale ka fridge mlikuwa nako kadogo, si mungepea shosho, mlipeleka wapi? The kid innocently will be like, daddy aliuza hiyo akanunua hiyo kubwa. Now the shosho now is poisoning the children. Na si daddy angeletea shosho hiyo alafu anunue kubwa. The kid is like, aliuza akasema ataongeza pesa. You know your kids are eavesdropping. They are listening to whatever you are saying. So your shosho is poisoning your own children because she's jealous of you kama mtoto wake. And this is your mother. Okay? So now, imagine you are going to the same mother to advise you on your relationship. You are going to the same father who, in all his life, has looked at you like a nuisance for relationship advice. That's a mistake. So mistake number one that you are making in relationships, do not go to your family. Do not allow your family into your issues when it comes to relationships. So this means, do not When you have issues in your relationships, the first people, number one, don't. This is a big don't. Don't share your issues with your family. This includes your siblings. Your sister should not know what is happening between you and your spouse. Your brother should not know what is happening between you and your spouse. Your mother and your father. Okay? Don't allow them into your issues. Sharing relationship issues with family is going only to open you up to what you call unsolicited advice. And you are going to send a negative image of your partner that you will never, ever repair. Let's say, for example, uh, your partner cheats on you. And the first thing you do, because you have not seen my life before, you because you want to make them feel bad, you confide in your mother. So you go and you tell your mom, oh, mutumi wa dreda adhini jagiri jorumono. And you're telling your own mother. Remember, your mother has been looking for those kind of things to attack your wife. Okay? So now you're giving your mother armor. You're giving your mother bullets. You're giving your mother the gun. You're giving your mother all the weapons she needs now to destroy you. You're giving your mother every weapon she needs to destroy your relationship or to destroy your spouse. Okay? So never ever, and this is the only time I'm going to use the word never, do not go to your parents for advice when it comes to relationships. They are from a different generation. They cannot understand today's generation. Today's generation is very different. Okay? You are very traumatized people. Not just from how you are raised up, but also by the system that you are under. Okay? You have been told to keep your distance from each other. You have been told that your friends can cause you harm based on their worldview. Number one, you'd rather go to a relationship expert or consult to your friends or people outside or a stranger than going to your parents for advice when it comes to relationship. Because whatever advice you're opening yourself to get from them is only going to be more, 90% more of it will be on separation. So be very aware of what you are sharing with your parents when it comes to your relationship. Now, another problem that we have when it comes to relationships is whereby we like betraying ourselves to keep the peace. For example, let's say you want to take your children to a nice school, nice meaning the setup and whatever you have decided for your children. Now, let's say you, as one of the spouses, is feeling that it's a little bit expensive based on where you are in your relationship. Okay? But because you are walking on eggshells, because you are not emotionally mature, because you grew up in a family where there was always conflict, nothing was ever discussed. So in your family setup, nothing was ever discussed. It was always the father's way. Alikuwa anakuja, anawavuruga, anapiga babako ama mamako, there's no apology, anaenda kazi, mama wako analia 2 days, life goes on. So you never spoke about anything. You never discussed anything in that relationship. Okay? Now, I think we are going to crash. What is this now? Bullshit. Anyway, ikicrash ianguke. So, you betray yourself to keep the peace. So you don't want to agree that this school is going to push you to meet those fees. Umepeleka mtoto Kensington, umepeleka mtoto Turi huko na whatever. You are paying over $1 million shillings in school fees. And you are struggling to manage that. But because you want to keep the peace, you betray yourself. You don't want to discuss that thing. So you are only appeasing, or you are going along with what your partner or your spouse wants. And you are doing this to avoid issues. So this is one of the worst things that you can do in a relationship. Okay? So this builds pressure. I remember, and this is the only time I remember good things when I speak about my dad. My dad used to love country music. So I just remembered a song. I think it was Kenny Rogers or Donny Williams. Pressure makes diamonds. much harder than stone. It's a love song, I think. We've been through a lifetime, but we made it somehow. Cause the pressure makes diamond. Our love is diamond by now. So we know that pressure hardens things. So the more pressure you are going in, where you are betraying yourself, you are trying to appease your partner, you are not having uncomfortable conversation and agreeing that this is not going to work. So that pressure builds up and slowly is going to disconnect you from yourself and your needs, because now you are sacrificing whatever you want to do to appease your partner, but there's pressure. Okay, there's too much pressure. You can't meet the fees, you are working to the last coin, but you want to maintain that. Well, you should be having a conversation with your spouse like, wait, we all like to give our child the best. I agree. Hata unaona tunataka mtoto wako na the best in life. However, my spouse, my darling, the love of my life, my gashungo, whatever you want to call them, whatever endearments you like calling them, this is not going to work. How about we set up a business, because we can still change our child's school. Unajua, we can work on them when they come back home. We can take turns. We can get internet. We can get a coach or another teacher, tutor, or the internet. We can create something to help the child. But this pressure is too much. But because you don't want that, you are piecing your partner. So what you are doing is that you are not having conversation. So you are betraying yourself. And this is creating pressure. Unakutanga mtu ako na stress, unashindwa ni stress ya nini? It's because you are not allowing yourself to have these conversations with the people you are around with. You are avoiding issues. Na hii avoiding issues inakuja cause you saw it with your parents. When there was a fight at home, no one spoke about it. Your father never apologized to you. The time he came, broke up everything. Most of you didn't even perform well in school because on the day you are supposed to wake up and go to do your exams, mulilala nje kama umerushwa nje na babako ama mamako. Okay? So now, number 3, we should be having difficult conversations with our spouses. We have never seen this in our relationships. So we don't have examples with our fathers, because even up to date, they avoid relationships. Unaenda kwa babako, you're like, I want to marry now. Can you help me do the dowry? Your father is avoiding that. Agina mamu wanyu. You are going to your mom. Mom, you know, I've been with my wife for these years, so I was thinking. Your mom is like, because they have never, ever, ever in all your lives, your parents have never have or communicated over what you can call a big conversation or a big issue or a difficult conversation. They have always avoided. So now you're a grown up thrown into the world. So now what do? You repeat what you saw your parents do. Now you cannot have difficult conversations around your home. So these big issues of difficult conversations are conversations about things like money, your values, the things you value. Do you value your privacy? Okay? Understand your partner. My spouse, Monjiro, is Scorpio. So she's fixated on her emotions and feelings. So with time, I've come to let her be. When she wakes up in the morning, she will not even say hi to me. I'm like, fuck these Scorpios, man. You know, she's waking up in one of her, she's still working on herself. So, but it doesn't affect me. She has also come to realize that me being a Taurus, I'm fixated, I'm stubborn. Okay, don't nag me if I don't want to do something. Leave me alone. You don't have to tell me something 5 times. I'll do it when I want to do it. For Tauruses, it's about being practical. If it's not practical now, if it's not making sense now, for me to do it now, then I won't move. Okay? Sex conversations. These are big issues. Okay? No one wants to talk about sex issues. So you think it's your right every time you want to have sex with your spouse. All you have to do is turn around, maybe you are spooning, so you spit in your palm, then you put it in you rub your cock head, and then you slide in your eye. Maybe she's not even feeling it. Okay, so you think it's your right because she's your wife. She can't say no. Like, how can she say no? When she says no, you're like, sasa unakataa kwani umekuwa ukipea nani? So you're like, you should be having sex when both of you are in tune, not after you have had a sex. And Let's stop this bullshit of saying that sex after a fight is the best. There's nothing like make-up sex. Sex is nothing more but a joining of two energies to create another. So you may be fooling yourself that it is make-up sex, but look at how you are coming together. There is resentment. There is fighting. There is tears. Okay? Someone is feeling hurt. Someone is feeling betrayed. Someone is feeling used. And you're having sex. Then, in your having sex without discernment, you bring a demon into this world. A child that was only attracted to the chaos that was happening when you're in that ritual. Stop having sex without discernment. Sinaweza ngoja until you have made her, buy her flowers, take her on a date. And if she's feeling it, then it can happen. If she's not feeling it, you can wait. And don't even pretend that you are so faithful. Okay, so just now, that is the time now you can go wherever you go and come back when everything is peaceful. So we are not having conversations about money. We avoid these conversations. So haujalipa rent 1 month, 2 months, bibi yako anakutwa na agent. Sasa tumekuja kufunga nyumba. The bibi is like, kwa nini? Unajua mjakuwa mkilipa nyumba. That is the time now you are calling your husband, agent yuma ati ndurihite nyumba. Your husband is like, nwe wira ndukoretwo ugithi wega no ni ngumuriha aria nake umwireterere mbeca ndakahinge ni undu wa ciana. No, aingefika hapo. She should have known from the word go that you are late in paying rent, because even your woman maybe should have an idea on how you can get that money. Hata anaweza kuambia aya ndurihite mieri iri riu handu atuikare muno ri ndiko na pesa ya chama hapa na unirudishiangi pesa nikikupea, but make sure please, tafadhali niko na pesa ya chama, acha nikupee nusu, ama fanya hivi, tafuta nusu niongeze nusu tulipe nyumba. So unatafuta nusu unamuongezea analipa nyumba. But sasa you don't get to this part whereby sasa now you are embarrassed, the agent is there, and now the wife is even looking at the man like he doesn't care. Sasa imekuwa fight. Akiwa kazini umeanza kunitumia text. Sasa huku umeniambia nyumba, sasa nyumba ikifungwa kama singekuwa nikuje tukufuri imewekwa ingekuwa nini? Why do you have to embarrass me in front of my neighbors? If you cannot afford the rent, uniambie nitafute nyumba ingine. Na nilikuwa nimekuambia tusihamie nyumba. You see, you have not been having conversation. I had even said nisihame kutoka ile ingine mzee. Sasa imekuwa ni a fight. You could have discussed money issues and told your spouse that everything is not working like it's supposed to be. So now, that means, even if you have the pressure of the money, at least you have one weight off your back. Your spouse is not another thing that you have to deal with now. So she does not become another stone on top of you. She becomes your healer. She becomes the person to talk to you when you come. Now she can even understand why you have been quiet. So ukikuja nyumbani, she can be like, my love, like Munjiro. Sometimes, because now she knows me, so sometimes she just come and she be like, I want to give you some foot care. Unajua, anakuja na vitu aniambia nataka kukupatia foot massage, put some Epsom salt in a container, give me like a pedicure. Sijui kama nitangwa pedicure at home, put some music, some candles. And because I understand. So now, even when you're in that relaxed moment, God comes through for you, or you find a solution to that thing. So, and start learning to have difficult conversation. This has to do with money, sex, and the things that you value. If you value going out to the gym, have these conversations with your wife. Mwambie me, I like going to the gym. I like working out in the gym. You fell in love with me because of my biceps and my chest. No. So, and I like looking hot. You know, I'm a hot man. So just because I met you doesn't mean that's how I like to be. If you like flirting, okay, don't be surprised. For example, I love flirting. I have no apologies for my flirting. And Monjiro has had a hard time with that, because every time you go to a social gathering, we would go home and yongeleshi. I'm like, what is wrong with her? Amwambia, are you okay? How was the event? Richard, twende home, staki maneno mingi. I'm like, what is wrong with this bitch? We were just having fun. Sasa imekuwa ni nini? Kumbe, I was with her, but she didn't like how I was flirting with these people. So ananiambia, unajua ukiflirt na watu, sometimes they don't even know whether you are serious or you are not serious. I'm like, fuck them. I'm not there to teach them whether I was serious or not. That's how I like to be. That's my nature. Okay? And it has taken her so long for her to accept, to the point she's like, okay, now I understand that is who you are now. That is your character. You like flirting. You are my hubby, and I love you, and I know you like that. Okay, so those are your values. As long as you don't take it to the extreme, then I'm okay with that. You see? So these conversations, difficult conversations, are very important to have in relationships. Okay? Be open to having these conversations, because what is this? This is going to put you in what you can call the same page. You'll be on the same page with your partner. So even when you go to a social gathering, hata akiona pale you're having your drink and the girls are giggling, oh my God, Aki wa mudhaka, and they're touching your biceps. Aki, oh my God, Aki, let me touch you. Let me touch you. In the chest, oh my God. So your wife will be like, let them have fun with Mudhaka. I know him, like, that's his nature. Instead of her coming, storming over, she's now eyeing the woman like, this is my man. No, and have difficult conversations. Understand what your spouse likes. Does she like going out on her own? There's nothing wrong with your spouse going out on her own. Maybe you don't like going out. Okay, maybe you like just chilling. You can chill with. If she wants to go out, let her go out. Okay, she knows what she's doing. Give her the car. Mnataka kwenda wapi? Mi sijui na maisha tukua. Give her the car, mweke mafuta, and then na wewe just go. Forget about me. Me, if I need to leave the house, I'll use an Uber or something. That kind of freedom. Okay? Stop keeping scores. This is another thing that you are doing in relationships. You like keeping scores. Jekana jeka itire maroro. Why do you have to keep revenge in relationships? Okay? Keeping scores. It feels good to keep a score. Okay? For the wounded part in us. Okay, you feel, okay, this is very welcoming. This is validating my pain. And since I have this pain, the only way I'm going to make my partner see this pain is to keep score with my partner. So I have to keep reminding them of something they did in 1980. Those are our parents. I have to keep reminding them of a person they hugged so tightly 10 years ago when I was just meeting them. And even at that particular time, they were not even sure if I was the one. When you meet your spouse or your partner, you're not even sure if she's going to be the one. Most of you are just fucking around or you're just dating. So you're not even sure. It's trial and error. Now, when they become your spouse, unashindanga ukimkumbusha. Do you remember back 8 years ago when I met you and we went on this date and ukaingia kwa gari ya Kevo na ukaenda Naivasha? Do you know how betrayed I felt? Yeah, motherfucker, I had not made a decision to marry you. Why you keeping scores za vitu zilipita? Up to date bado unakumbuka Kevo. Kevo si alioa. So here comes the wife. Sasa unanikumbusha Kevo na uliona hata Kevo ako na bibi na watoto. That's not the issue. The fact remains you got in his car and I was your boyfriend. Come on now. Sasa tutaanza vita 8 years ago. 8 years ago. We are still fighting over getting in Kevo's Subaru. Yeah? I was not even sure. In fact, to be really honest, if you can even be very, very open, most of your relationships start based on sex alone. You just want to hit it and be gone. Let's be honest. Most of your relationships zinakuanga unataka kukula hiyo mali. Unakula mali unakuta ni mali safi. You're like, oh shit. Sikuwa najua kitu ni mali safi hivi. Ama unakula mali unakuta you are relating. Now all of a sudden you start dating. But the initial instant was to hit it and keep it moving. Most of your relationships, just like your mothers, don't pretend. Just like your mothers. It is the same kind of relationship. Stop pretending that nyinyi mko special. Hata mwenye mnaendanga kanisa, mnaanzanga na kukulana, amwazangi na wedding. Mnaendanga hata wedding kama mko na mimba, mnaanzanga na kukulana. Inakuanga ni kukulana kwanza, then you agree. So mlikuwa mnakulana kwanza, then now here you are in a relationship. But you are still keeping scores. Okay? Maybe even before you settled with your girlfriend, you are in a threesome. Now that becomes something you keep using. Yeah? Unajua hata sijui ni aje wewe ulikuwa bibi yangu. Kwanza unajua nikikupata ulikuwa malaya mbaya sana. Ulioa malaya wewe, kubali malaya ni yako wewe. She was a hoe. She's now your hoe in your own house. So show some respect. Okay? Now, in reality, this only creates defensiveness. When you keep scores, what is going to happen is now your partner is going to make sure they don't open up to you because you like keeping scores. I won't tell you because this is going to come back to me. It's going to come and bite me back in the ass. So this creates a division in your relationships. Now, what is another thing that is very common when it comes to relationship yenye nimeona? This was actually yesterday after the soul group meetup. I had a one-on-one with one of the people alibaki behind. Alingojea watu wote waende, alienda akasimama mahali akangojea tumedisperse. When I was walking to go to walk to be picked, akanipigia akaniambia Wamuthaka itiga guthinde kwenda kwaria, na I'm like tumemaliza soul group. Akakuja, we had our own conversation. So stop expecting your partner to know what you want. Your partner is not, I don't even know what to call you. Your partner cannot pick your mind. They don't know what you want. So without consistent communication around what you want, your partner will never know. Okay? Stop that needing and thinking that your partner will know what you want. They will never know your inner world. We can sleep with you in the same bed, but unless you open your mouth and tell me what it is that you want in life, I will never know. Maybe the only thing I know is how wet you get for me. Maybe the only thing I know is how hard your nipples get around me. Maybe the only thing I know is how you like to be choked, thrown around, na vitu kaa hizo. I'll never actually know the inner you unless you open yourself up and tell me, you know, my dreams and expectations in life are this. And you do the same in your relationships. You're expecting them to set you up in things they have no idea. So you're thinking your husband is going to open a business for you. Ujai mwambie unataka biashara. So the conversation you have every time, unataka kuhiguri biashara niki, your husband is like, what is wrong with this woman? Ujai niambie unataka business. And in any case, what kind of business? Do you want a nail business, a grocery business? What business do you want? So you are assuming, afu naambia bwanako, ukidoro gudu na gaido ili anyedaga. Sasa, I don't know. You're my spouse. I don't know the things you like because you don't even have that kind of conversation. So it's time now to have conversations and stop assuming that your partner is going to know what you want. Because if you do that, what you do is that you end up with a lot of disappointments in your relationships because you think he knows. He doesn't know. You think she knows. She doesn't know. So you end up in disappointments. No, I don't know. How our mother used to cook for our father is not the same. So tell your wife how you want your food. I want my food boiled. Nyona ni mukaragaraga nyama no nyenda kanyama kaboilo na ku nyendete kanyama ga gucomoke ku na uka gukutojuka na nyama nene ri yanyu karagai akwa muje mukeri nyendete. You know, now you are communicating. Now we know what you want. Ni sasa realize this. Every time you have a fight in your relationship, that is not a bad sign. That is a very good sign. I'm not saying physical fight. A fight, or thinking that a fight is a bad thing, or thinking that it's a bad sign is wrong. Healthy couples have conflict. Keyword, conflict. Healthy couples have what you can call conflict, aka conflicting ideas. So when you're looking at fighting or fights in your relationship, don't look at them like a fight or a disagreement. Look at it like a conflicting idea. My thoughts and feelings, what you call ideas, are not agreeing with yours. That's a conflict. So healthy couples have a conflict. Okay? We can disagree at times. Naweza kuwa tunaenda mahali, masaa imeenda sana, nataka kuingia mahali nipime gari pressure. Sasa wewe, in your mind, you are like, turaserero ni wa gari miru kituthie betuthie, but you are forgetting it's safer tukiongeza pressure. Jora tukiwa na pressure hii gari inaweza kimbia sana hata kwa kona ikiwa safer. Okay? So there's nothing wrong with that conflict. So you can advise or have a conversation like, nejue turi aserere lakini wacha tuongeze pressure juu nimesikia gari na swing or ngetha ruhota gutengera wega. You see? So it's not a bad thing to have a conflict as long as you find a solution and you know how to communicate. Okay? Because you always have times when you have friction. Now, if you don't communicate, what will happen is this. Utamnyamazia, because that is what your father used to do, avoiding conversations. Uweke pressure, kiburi. Na hata ukiingia gari unamwambia leo kagea gari yako ni wathima amerukire kwenda. Sasa imekuwa ni a fight. Now, wherever you are going, you are not even on good terms. Now, even if you get late wherever you are going, it will also be blamed on you. Ruko ndunogera gari mirukire, nwe nitungi tutingiacererwo. Sasa imekuwa ni fight. Sasa imekuwa ni an issue. But remember, it was just a conflict. You just had conflicting ideas on something that you could have discussed and come to an agreement. Okay? And it's comfortable and it's normal to have disagreements at times. So, there are periods when these frictions, sasa koko ni nini? Why are you so needy? Ama hata unataka kukua kwa live. Aya, panda hapa juu then. Come here. Come here. Panda. Soul tie dog. Kuja hapa then. Hata umeleta love and affection hapa. Okay? You wanna talk? Coco the pooper. Or you wanna poop? Have you pooped today? Coco the pooper. Have you pooped today? Say hi to the people. Ama hata uoni camera. Say hi to the people. Go and join my talk. Can you call Coco? Umemfungulia mlango sasa. Yeah. Go.
Bye-bye.
Piece of shit far. Now, so look at conflict or look at disagreement as what you can call opportunities for you to grow, or opportunities for you to have what you can call what is the right word? What would be the right word for this one now? Like, look at this conflict as opportunities for you to gain what you can call trust. Now, you can trust each other on, no matter what is happening, you still have their interest at heart. So hata kama umeongeza pressure, umeongeza juu you want to be safer na mufike kwenye mnaenda haraka. So there's nothing wrong with conflict. Unless now imekuwa ni physical war. Now, this is another one. This is another very good one. So we have instances where, and this is a good one. I've seen a lot of people do stuff for their partners, okay? I've seen people buy their spouses things that went beyond themselves now. So I've seen people who have built their women houses by giving their blood, sweat, and tears. But instead of that thing becoming a good thing, imekuwa a weapon. So that women will never speak or say anything. Akienda kuongea naambiwa, he modo wakeirwo nyumba njega gukira we. So every problem you have, whatever you are gifted, becomes the weapon. So the moment you go to complain, sasa una complain nini umekosa? Amongst all your friends, nani yako na simu kama yako, iPhone 14 Pro Max? Amongst all your friends, nani yako na nywele kama yako? Nani yako na vitu kama hizi? So the things you are doing for your partner, you are not doing them to make them happy, but you are doing them with the intention of weaponizing that thing against them. So in relationships, you have to learn to say no. So ukijua, for example, that this thing you are being given is going to be weaponized and used against you, all the way to sex. There's a lot of women who use sex to manipulate their men. Then you can say no. Let her keep her pussy. Let her keep her wet pussy to herself. Just find yourself another woman there until she stops using that sex as a weapon against you, or until you can have a relationship. Last but not the least, stop with this monitoring your partners. Stop with this spy gadget bullshit. Stop with this wanting to know where your partner is at all times. Stop with this nonsense of getting on YouTube how to know if your partner is cheating. Duh. If you are thinking that, you are attracting that. So no one's like to feel like they're under their parents. So you're in a relationship na bado una feel like ni kama bado uko na mzazi, ni kama bado mamako ama babako ndio anakuchunga. Na this is your spouse. Ukitumiwa message, ukienda kuangalia message, anajifanya anachukua kitu hapo karibu. That's Monjiro. She's always looking into my phones. So what I had done, I had reduced the fonts to, the smallest font you can get on your phone, so it would be harder for her to read my messages. Then inafika mahali nikasema, why do I have to keep doing this? So I actually, if you come to my phone, I have the largest fonts on my phone. You can read my text hata kama umekaa pale. I'm like, fuck you. If that is going to affect you, it's on you. So in your relationships, do not create that what you call childlike or parent childlike dynamic, because that becomes a power struggle, and that brings a lot what you can call lack of trust in that relationship. The reason I'm speaking about these kind of things on a Monday and we do reparenting on a Tuesday is because today is a day that is ruled by emotions. And I'm very sure like most of you even watching this live, and you can say this in the text, you had a fight in the morning with your spouse. Did I hang? What happened to this life? Maybe I can end the life. So, what is the difference between mind and consciousness? That was unrelated to the conversation. This is so refreshing. Imagine big a Scorpio with the Taurus rising. Who is a Scorpio with the Taurus rising now? Shit. Shit. That's a cry baby. This is the only way for you to have peace. Oh, there was a confusion. Oh, the wall banging. Okay. Shout out to becoming Wanjiro. I thought I'm the only person who is affected by words. Narcissistic mothers. Okay, so there's no question. Invite to join live, Derek. No, Derek, I'm not going to go live with you. Decline. I don't want to go live with you. Dayo, that is going. I had a fight with my daughter today. Yeah, being a Monday. Yeah, so stop having fights with your daughter if you can avoid. I know it's easier said than done, but also understand that the reason you're fighting with your daughter is because you're also fighting with whoever represented a mother in your life. And we in 2023, we should be in a position whereby we are not fighting with our children. That should not be the thing, a fight. You can have a disagreement and talk to her. So you should even now learn to apologize to your children. When they come back home, apologize to your children, because even most of you, you are lashing out based on your emotional state. You are lashing out based on your terms and conditions. You didn't even think about it. So talk to your daughters, talk to your children, apologize to your children when you hurt them. Your parents never apologize to you. Up to date, they have never. So be the difference. Let's raise a healed generation. Each one teach one. It may take longer. We are not going to find a solution in this lifetime. Okay? We are not going to change the world tonight, overnight. It can happen though. God is all possibilities. But plant that seed of wanting to be better, of your children healing and becoming better versions than you. Sasa, I'll apologize when she comes back from school. Yeah, and don't just apologize to apologize. Have a conversation on how it started. Let her understand that you as mommy, maybe you are also going through shit. And it's also a Monday. Tell her that different days, just like the weather, different days call on different emotions, and tell her that you should have done better, and talk to her and tell her so that she can trust you. You see, when you apologize to your child, they now learn to trust you. Don't have children not trusting you from an early age. Let her trust you so that she can even tell you whatever she's going through in her life. Okay? So create that trust-based relationship between your children and you. Communicate. Mwambie, today mom woke up feeling not so good, because even the children, they have those days. And then say, I should have done better, but even when I wake up not feeling good, nitakuwa nakuambia. Na wewe pia ukiamka kama usikii vizuri unaniambia. Okay? Those kind of conversations. Okay. Yesterday I had a conversation whereby, you see, for example, in my house, when my daughter used to wake up, angeamuka hata tu kesho hii naamkia, tomorrow if she wakes up and she wakes up and she's like, I don't feel like going to school, hataenda shule. But when will that happen? Like for the whole of this year hajakosa kuenda shule. But she used to do that when she was young. So we made her understand that when you don't want to do something, it's okay. The mom would be like, sasa unajua ni yako wera mwingi muno, sana nani atashinda nyumbani? I'm like, yes. If she was sick, you take a day off, umpeleke hospitali, ushinde na yeye. So understand that even now she is weak. To be ill is to be weak. Today, aujue si mgonjwa, ashaikwambia ataenda shule tena, hapana. Then understand that she's not in a good spot. So cancel whatever you are doing. Mushinde na yeye. Na usimwambie ungeenda shule. Just pretend it's a normal day. Call the school. The school does not care about your child. The school only cares about your school fees. Ukitaka kujua, the school doesn't care about your child. Mtoto wako akifukuzwa shule, the school will never call you to ask you, how is the child doing? No. They will never call you to ask you how the child doing. They only care about the school fees. So take care of your child, their state of mind. So let's reparent. Let's change how we are raising our children. After doing that, there's never a day that our child or any of our children never woke up and decided not to go to school out of tabia mbaya, because now they understand that they love school and they understand that you understand them na vitu kama hizo. Kama wewe unakosanga kuenda kazi saa zingine na ni pesa, what about your child? Mtoto alianza kuenda shule akiwa 3 years. Do you know how much overburn they have and the stress you are putting on the children? Anyway, that was not the subject. Ongelea, talk to your daughter. Ongelea kudina pre-teenager and teenagers. You are also a teenager at one point in life. Sindio, you are also a teenager at one point of, or at some point in life. And since you are a teenager, so you know that a teenager is going through that hormonal changes in their body. Okay? So you also went through the same stage. So stop acting like it's something new, or your teenager is acting out of chaos, and speak to them. Understand? And not this kind of talk that you have in schools. Si bullshit, mnaenda kupeleka akina Bahati kuongelesha watoto shule, akina Professor Hamo, broken people. Ndio mnapea opportunities za kuenda kuongea. No. Speak to your own children. Understand that it is a phase that is going to pass, and be there for them. Don't fight them. Just show them that you are behind them. Right now, I'm working with children who are not teenagers. The teenage thing, it turns later. For example, I'm waiting for the boys who are going to go for initiation. Wakimaliza. So, wakimaliza initiation, maybe sasa next year is when I'm going to start now working with the young men, whereby we'll be doing camps of hunting, log fires, and staying in the jungle. That is why I was in Mount Kenya. That is one of the reasons I was in Mount Kenya. I was always in the forest because I was learning survival tactics in the jungle na vitu kama hizo. That is what I've been doing for the last few months, beside other things also. Because these are skills that we need that bring out the masculine in a man. how can a man deal when faced with danger na vitu kama hizo. So um, tulikuwa tunaenda to a family of elephants. We get very close to them, and then you get out of the car na unaachwa hapo karibu nazo. So how do you deal with that threat? Like if the elephant decides to charge you, do you run or do you stand your ground? Na vitu kama hizo. So teenagers, I would say teenagers are like dealing with something that is volatile because, okay, because you asked, let me just tell you this. First of all, do you know your children? Do you know the elements? Let's start there. Because teenagers are explosive powders, but if you know their elements first, are you dealing with an extrovert, introvert? Is it a fire sign, water sign, vitu kama hizo? That can help you, how you can balance it. Maybe you can come to the DM, you can DM me, you can WhatsApp me on 0720 803 702. You can WhatsApp me on 0720 803 702. You can WhatsApp me on 0720 803 702. Maybe I can give you a free birth chart reading for the kids. I don't charge kids for anything because ni mtoto. I can do a birth chart reading for them, but I didn't say sasa nyinyi wote mwanze kunitumia juu nimesema I don't charge children. I just say, oh, Mudhaka, look for my child. No, specifically just for that one. Teenagers, nimeona ni it's Jenny, so you can WhatsApp me and then I'll tell you who your children are, then sasa na wewe utafanya hiyo kazi ingine. Sasa, is it okay asking my woman to write a list of the things for bees and a personal to prioritize tackling? Don't ask her to write it down. Have a conversation with her. Sit with her. Ask her what makes her happy. If she tells you she wants this business, why do you want this business? What makes you think? What will you be providing, or what will you be giving to the world? Are you doing it for God? Like vitu kama hizo. Have a conversation instead of having her make a list. That way pia yata feel uko involved. Ni sasa. So we are talking about communication, relationship, relating. Sindio? We are relating. Someone says the power of number 8. How much do you charge for adults? So that depends on what type of consultations we are having. So business consultation have a different price packages. If it is just a private conversation based on you, niko na different charges depending on what we are talking about. Okay. For anyone in the country, Kenya shillings is 2,700 shillings. Okay, that's an hour for a consultation. It always goes above an hour. For people outside the diaspora, it's $36 an hour, or $45 an hour, and $54 an hour, and $90 an hour, depending on the consultation. So inakuanga na different packages. So whatever you want, you can come to my WhatsApp or DM na vitu kama hizo. Unajua, that's why I'm giving my number. So if you want a consultation, decide what is the consultation. For people who have dream interpretation is the easiest donation. For dream interpretation nakuanga only 360 shillings. Extra on the dream 630 shillings. So it depends on the consultation. Shout out to Anzi, you sent a heart, so my heart back to you. Yeah, so now I have 7 minutes before I leave the live because I'm already on Gemini time. Nimetoka Taurus time, but I'll be coming morning time of Taurus, night time of Taurus, which is Scorpio hour. So between 8 and 10 in the evening. So this will be between 8 p.m. and 9. Nitakuwa live. So between 8 and 9, niko live. In the morning, between 8 and 10. So it can be 8, 8:30, or 9. In the evening, between 8 and 9. Sasa, daytime of Taurus, nighttime of Taurus, Scorpio hour. So 6 minutes. Now you can ask your question. And only the people who are asking the question now ndio nitajibu. Anyone mwenye alikuwa ameuliza maswali hapo juu, that one I'm not tackling. Apart from you, I'm mtoto. Because when we are teaching, it's teaching time. Nikiandika niweke Q&A, you don't ask questions. Nikiandika Q&A, that is a day specifically for questions and answers and interactions. When I'm teaching, when you ask a question, that means you are not paying attention, you don't want to learn. You are doing it based on a desire, your ego. So that means you are showing me you don't care about what I'm saying. You only care about what you want your needs to be met. So hizo sitajibu. So question time now. Ena mundu wetwo murira ikihia, murira ikihia. The power of number 8, ask a proper question. Hakuna number ina power. Ask about, and what do you mean by the power of number 8? What do you mean by the power of number 8? Ask a proper question. Detail your question. What do you want to know about number 8? A proper question. Do you do birth chart interpretations? I'm an astrologer by default. See, by learning, ama by going to school by default. So birth chart is a walk in the park for me. I'm a Midheaven Taurus. So that means I come from Aldebaran. Ophiuchus huko nyuma, that constellation. Okay. So on the bull, when I come on that bull of Taurus and everything, you can come on the tail. Anyway, that's deeper. That's for another day. Going to tips of the, so I don't have to tell you about where I'm from anyway. How can I deal with a parent who deals with conflict by giving the silent treatment? That's a good one. You don't have to deal with them. It has got nothing to do with you. You do you. You cannot reparent your parent. You see, this is the thing we are talking about. This is a parent who is emotionally immature because they never learned communication and they are not going to learn it from you kwa sababu wewe ni mtoto wao. So they are going to avoid conflict. They are going to shut up. And this is what they also choose to do to you when you are growing up. Ni venye sahi huwezi iona. So first of all, heal. Wanjiro, heal. First, heal. When you heal, you're not going to see that as a problem now. You are going to understand that is how they deal with their conflict. And now when you go to open to them, utakuwa unamuongelesha hata akikunyamazia wewe umesema yako. So surely, slowly ataanza ku open up. Unajua, ataanza ku open up because you are going to have conversation that are mature. Utamwambia nini gukwira ona wale au participate ri nino ginya ngwire undu cio ume ngoro batani ngwire na ndikenaga ni uguo kiraga ndakwira undu tondu njigua uru utuma njigwe ta ndi mwana na nitwago ni kwananiria no ungikiuga bado ndukwenda kwaria ri bado no sawa no ni no ngukwira. So you confront them with that and you leave them with that, then slowly they are going to open up because you'll be helping them to start communicating because it was never in them in the first place. Nidhayo. Someone is saying the positives and negatives of number 2. So number 2 means relating. Number 2 is that diplomatic energy. So the energy of number 2 is relating with something, a person, place or thing, a situation or a circumstance. Now, the negative side of you not relating means, what does it mean? If you're not relating, it means you can be used. It means you are gullible. It means people can take advantage of you. It means since you are not able to relate, people can put prizes upon your head that are not the real thing. Sawa. Positive and negative of numbers and alphabetical, please. 1 and R. What is number 1? Singular. Point of reference for the first time. A dot. The beginning of something. Individuality. Becoming aware. So that is a positive thing. That is a good thing. The negative thing about that is that you are only aware of your thoughts. You're only aware of your feelings. It's your way or no way. So that means on the negative, you are too egotistical. Okay? Have too much ego. Things have to go your way only and not any other way. The last minute. I'm about to leave. Is there a problem with exposing your birthday? I find it tricky sana kwa social media platforms. They already know your birthday. Google already knows your birth date. Whether umewaambia ama hujawaambia, they already know. So there's nothing wrong with that. Sharing your birth date, there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing you don't do is that you don't give them. When it comes to your astrological chart, there are some things you don't expose to everyone. But sasa that goes now deeper because they may use that to take advantage of you. But sijaona watu wako huku. We are still very young when it comes to those things. So you can share your birthday. Enjoy your birthday. Jenga, please talk on a few ways trauma can manifest itself in a spiritual or mentally. Yeah, I'm going to do that on another live because I have to go. If you send your woman money and she doesn't mean even acknowledge, what does this mean? It just means she's entitled. She's feeling entitled to that. So you have not had conversations to speak about that. Maybe she's feeling entitled to that money. So maybe she has that entitled. I'm entitled to getting money from you. Okay? So that's conversation you should be having. The difficult conversation I was talking about, money, kama hizo issues, sex, family. Okay? Make her understand that you don't feel appreciated if she doesn't say anything about that. But don't come out of ego like when you give her, she has to say thank you. Okay? That's for our main talk. On my other channel coming up, I have another channel that will be based purely for man talk. That's for the divine masculine page. That is where we'll be going deep into depth for the men. The real masculine, male, divine masculine, not the toxic masculinity being pushed by Akina Andrew Tate and Kibe. And also remember this, Andrew Kibe is soul group. Usisikie nikisema ati Kibe hivyo. Andrew Kibe is soul group. We have had so many interactions in DMs na vitu kama hizo. His soul group, he's just doing it his own way. However, when it comes to solving these issues, we cannot victimize the woman. Hatuwezi sema ati sasa juu a girl was having sex in the toilet, now we are bashing all the women, calling all women hoes. No, we have to look at why was she having sex in the toilet in the first place, and why was someone even recording them in the first place. And you see, those are the conversations we should be having. Okay, is it wrong for a woman to have sex in the toilet? No, if they're having a relationship, there's nothing wrong. Is it wrong to have sex in a public toilet? Maybe, because now that's a social gathering, but people can have sexual escapades wherever they want in nature. Okay, they can do it wherever those are adults who have they have consented to do that. If she's a hoe, she's a hoe. So don't come bashing her like making all women look like hoes. We have hoes, and it's okay. We have hoes. Hoes will never go anywhere. Okay, so now trying to make all women look like bad. Not all women are bad. We have good women. These are our daughters and our mothers, but we also have bad women. But toxic masculinity is where now we have these gender wars. We should not be fighting our women. We should be speaking about the issues that lead to a woman and someone taking a video of people and trading it for clout or whatever reason. Those are the issues we should be dealing with, not people. People can have sex wherever they want. They can have sex in their own cars. They can, as long as they keep the business to themselves and they are not doing it for children. Sasa, if you send your woman, okay, not that I need a thank you, but even a knowledge, then she's not thankful. So then keep that money to yourself. You can do something else until she learns. Okay? And especially if you're feeling that energy. If you're feeling that energy that she's not, or she's taking it for granted, then she's taking you for granted. It's not your money. She's taking you for granted. So the relationship itself is the one that has an issue. It's not the money. It is the relationship, the way you are communicating and relating. A relationship ends the same way a relationship starts. So deal with that. Sasa, is it okay to eat meat? Yes, it is okay to eat meat. Meat gives you energy. Meat gives you energy. However, the food for the soul eats plants. The soul connects to emotional things. So things like fruits, because they have fluids, na vitu kama hizo. So this is a whole, I'm going to do a whole video on this whole thing of, you can't eat meat because you're in spirituality and fruits. I'm going to actually, I didn't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to do a whole meat and fruits and relationship and spiritual thing, because there's this whole narrative whereby just because you eat meat, you are said you cannot be spiritual. I have to break it down, what you are getting from food. When you eat meat, you get energy from the meat. When you eat plants and fruits, you get what you call now food for the soul, because these have what you call the waters, which connects to your emotions. So you have a body and a spirit. So you need to eat for your body, energy, meat, and you need to balance and eat for your fruits na vitu kama hizo. And if you don't want, it's okay, but don't push it on people. It's your choice. If you don't like meat, pengine kwenyu hata kukua na nyama, you grew up in such an arid area, you had no meat around you. Kuna watu wali grow na nyama around them, so they have grown. Anyway, another subject, hiyo ni ya siku ingine, My time is up. Shout out to everyone who came. Each one, did I send? Oh, nimeenda kukata simu ikasend invite. I was not sending an invite. Whoever imeenda hata sijui ni nani. Shout out to everyone in the comments. Each one, teach one. Teamwork makes the dream work. We'll catch up later in the day or in the evening and add up onto that. Okay? Ni sasa. Do have a beautiful Monday. May your day be easy. May you have a very light day. Moon day inakuanga very heavy, is ruled by the moon, so there's a lot of waters. The colors for today, of course, will be moon colors. The things to wear today is silver. The day that is, you have a lot of intuition, so be very careful. You don't get washed under the currents. Idhayo. Unless yakauga dhayo awa, back to you. Love you from the bottom of my heart. Do improve on your relationships. Because when you improve on your relationships, you're going to heal the children that you're bringing to this world na vitu kama hizo. Ciao, ciao.